up in the sky. Look, it's captivating. It's energizing. It's Eliances Heroes. Eliances is the destination for entrepreneurs, investors, CEOs, inventors, leaders, celebrities, and startups, where our heroes in business align. Now, here's your host flying in, David Kogan, founder of Eliances.
That's right. And you know what? I need to brag because there is no better position in the world than what I have. Why? Because I get to share with you so many heroes, people that are making a difference in the world, and we can always learn from them no matter what level we're at. And I'm so excited today for having our next hero, which, by the way, too, before I introduce him, thank you for the feedback we continue to have when I had on Sean Covey, the CEO of Franklin Covey. So make sure you go to Eliances.com. That's Eliances.com, because it is the only place where entrepreneurs align. Our next hero, has he got a background like you wouldn't believe? Joel Peterson, the former chairman of JetBlue Airlines, former CEO of Trammel Crowe Real Estate. That was at the time was commercial real estate, one of the largest, and faculty at Stanford Graduate School of Business. You can reach him at joelcpeterson.com. All right, Joel, let's first take me back to the time of being the chairman of JetBlue Airlines. How was that? I mean, what a role.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I was there before we had planes, and I was there through 9/11, and then I was chairman for about 12 years and just retired in May.
Well, congratulations. I mean, now it's very popular. It's gaining a tremendous amount of momentum.
Well, it's a very popular brand. I would say that none of the airlines is gaining momentum right now.
Right. But they were before all of this.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So take me through too, is you've got quite a background in that. Let's talk about though the leaders and being an entrepreneur. Talk to me about what it takes to build a company, and you've been very successful at the ones that you've been at, but how does someone become a leader within entrepreneurs?
Well, I think being an entrepreneurial leader and being an entrepreneur are two different things. Being an entrepreneur means you light fires. You're able to create new ideas and get products to market. But being an entrepreneurial leader means you're able to take that to the next level, to create an enduring enterprise beyond that. So there's a whole set of skills that entrepreneurial leaders have as they see around corners, attract teams, build a mission, compensate people, and execute.
In fact, too, is you're an author. Your book is Entrepreneur Leader. So I want to talk more about the hallmarks of being an entrepreneur leader.
Yeah, so I've tried to make it really simple because I teach students who want to do this. And I think if you don't get things simple, people can't execute. So fundamentally, there are four things you have to do. Number one is you have to be trustworthy. You have to have high trust. You have to build a high trust culture and organization. So everything rests on trust. Number two is you have to have clarity around your mission. What does it mean to win? What are you trying to achieve? Getting everybody on the same page. Number three is you have to attract a team. You have to put the best team on the field at all times. And then the fourth thing is a whole series of execution steps where you have to be able to raise capital, run great meetings, sell, negotiate, etc. So these are execution steps where you're able to deliver on promises. So those are the steps.
And you're a faculty at Stanford Graduate School of Business. I mean, you can't almost get much better than that, right? And you've been doing it now for how long?
For 28 years.
28 years there. Talk to us about perhaps some of the secrets that you share with your students of being able to be successful.
Well, these students are phenomenally successful already. So I think one of the things you do is you start with great raw talent. And I think one of the main things that you do is you attract a great team. You put great people together and you give them clarity around what it is that you're trying to do. Then you measure what it is you want to achieve. You know, typically in business, you get what you measure. But I think you have to think really clearly about what are we measuring, how often, and then how do we communicate that? So we talk about all those fundamentals in class.
And fact two is you graduated from Harvard with an MBA. Is that right?
I did. Yeah.
Wow,
I'm
amazing,
overcome it, though.
amazing. Take me back now. I want to talk a little bit about having been the CEO of Trammel Crowe Real Estate. I mean, that at the time, right, was the world's largest private commercial real estate firm.
Correct. Yeah.
That in itself is a miracle, a feat of its own.
It was an amazing company. I was its chief financial officer when I was only 29 years old, and that was a company that was out of cash, was at the edge of insolvency, and so I had to work through a lot of issues, and then I ultimately became its managing partner.
Fantastic. Well, again, you're listening and watching me, David Kogan, host of the Eliances Hero Show. So make sure you go to Eliances.com. That's Eliances.com. The only place where entrepreneurs align, because we have with us Joel Peterson, former chairman of JetBlue Airlines, former CEO of Trammel Crowe Real Estate, and faculty at Stanford Graduate School of Business. You can reach him at joelcpeterson.com or, of course, on Eliances.com, Eliances.com. All right. I want to talk more about your book. Again, I'm assuming that people could pick it up on Amazon. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. And it's called Entrepreneurial
Leadership.
Entrepreneurial Leadership. Awesome. So again, entrepreneur leadership. What was the goal of writing the book?
Well, it was to really help people think about how do you develop a durable enterprise. I think it came out at the very worst possible time in the midst of this COVID. No bookstores open. People were thinking about other things. But I actually think that as we come out of the COVID thing, we're going to need entrepreneurial leaders, not so much presiders, not so much politicians or purely managers. We're going to need people who can think entrepreneurially, who can reimagine things, who can make covenants with customers and employees, and actually create durable businesses. It's going to take that skill.
What's the best way, though, for entrepreneurs to come up with some of these ideas too? How, because of the leadership roles that you had to come up with a lot of things almost on a day-to-day, if not hour-to-hour, coming up with solutions in that. How do you best form the brain to activate?
You talk to people, and the people you want to talk to are customers, and customers have issues. They have problems. They have things they're trying to solve. And if you can find solutions for people that are really cost them less than the solution is worth, you've got a business. And so to me, the whole idea is to get out to market quickly with a product or service, get feedback, refine it, and keep talking to customers. Customers are your lifeblood.
Excellent. Excellent advice. How about developing and building, though, a personal brand too, and things like protecting your personal life?
Yeah, I think we each have a brand, whether or not we think we do. But I always used to say you ought to pick the 5 words that describe yourself, and think hard about those, because there are nuances that matter. And you would like for everybody who knows you to say, these are what this person is known for. Products have brands, companies have brands, but there is Me Inc., your own brand. And you'd like people to know what that is. You want to be predictable. If you're predictable, people can make decisions for you. You don't have to check up on everybody all the time because you're so predictable. Your brand is your word, it's your promise, it's what people can rely on.
Excellent, excellent. I got to tell you, Joel, you definitely know your stuff, and you've been so successful at what you've done. And again, thank you so much again for being on the show. You're a leader. You inspire others. Make sure you go to joelcpeterson.com. You can also pick up his book, Entrepreneurial Leadership. Again, Entrepreneurial Leadership. This has been David Hogan with the Eliances Hero Show. Continue to stay tuned for more interviews.